Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Chainlink, giving you a brief update as to what's been going on with that most recent price action. Now as I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button, I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will not miss another video update. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out, link is in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Let's jump right down into today's video. What we'll do is we'll kick things off with the 1 hour chart here for Chainlink paired up with USDT. We are using Binance as our data source here for this one, and you can see we have had this nice push to the upside here on Chainlink, right? So as you can kind of see, we were trying to look at this thing as a three-wave movement to the upside here. And this has actually changed a little bit now. Okay, so it's no longer just looking like a three-wave pattern. It's actually looking more aggressively like a five-wave pattern. Let me show you on the daily time frame here. So as you can kind of see in the last video that we're talking about, we had a target for a 1.618 set up here at $14.20.6. Okay, and this particular area was going to be a trigger point for us to look at this as an impulsive movement rather than a corrective movement. Okay, and this basically is taking a look at this structure down here, so this little movement down here, this basically being a diagonal move. We have a retracement to here and then this impulsive break to the upside. Okay, so it's looking like this. Let me show you, right? We have the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. At some point we've got to come down into the wave 4, then up into a wave 5. I still think we're actually inside the wave 3. I don't think we're finished with the wave 3 yet. So we've still got a little bit more to the upside to be had here for Chainlink before we have the corrective move to the downside, which will be the buying opportunity. I suspect that we'll probably see a reduction of at least 50% in that movement when that does occur. Okay, so what am I talking about here? What am I saying? Well, what I'm telling you guys is that we are in this wave 4 not likely to pierce the low of $8.46, and the bottom is in my opinion, at $4.76.1. It's in as long as we stay within this structure and we don't break it. If we break this structure, as in we come down deeper than $8.48 without first completing a fifth wave movement, then essentially, you know, we're void and the behavior of the investors has changed. But for now, it's actually looking okay, and I'm not that concerned over what is going on when it comes to the price action here. It's looking very good, and a nice healthy correction to the downside. That 50% move is very typical of a wave 2, and there's a psychological thing here. Right? Let me get some space, right? So if you have a five-wave movement like this is what they call a trend in Elliott wave theory, right? There's no overlapping patterns, right? So wave 4 doesn't overlap wave 1, a very clear directional move, right? When you have this, there is a usual kind of psychological things that happens right here in the wave 1 and wave 2 area. Okay, everyone calls the wave 1, oh, it was just a bear market rally, right? And then a wave 2 comes along, okay, it comes down quite deep and everyone's like, I told you so. I told you it was just a bear market rally. And what happens is they miss this opportunity to get into the big wave 3. This wave 3 is driven from institutional level investors, right? And then everyone FOMOs in saying, oh my God, we missed out on this big move to the upside. When it retraces, we're going to buy it. So they start buying the wave 4 and retail forces a wave 5. But as you can kind of see here, that essentially the institutional large whale investors essentially were in control the entire time. They forced a wave 1, pulled back into a wave 2, and then forced a wave 3. And then all retail really gets a look into is the wave 4 and wave 5, right? So that's the psychological part behind these 5-wave patterns. And so what we find ourselves here is this all being a wave 1, right? So all of this here is a wave 1 on a larger scale. We'll have the retracement into the wave 2, and it's the wave 2 that we need to take advantage of, right? Because we've identified that we're in a 5-wave pattern here, we know that there's going to be another 5-wave pattern afterwards. If you start with 5 waves, you end in 5 waves, right? And so if we've got 5 waves here, we have this big move to the downside, and this here is the bottom, then essentially this is going to be the biggest buying opportunity for Chainlink, in my opinion. Okay, so it's really, really interesting stuff. Now, we can go a little bit deeper than that. Let's bring up some on-chain data, right? So membership.cheekycrypto.io is obviously our membership website, linked in the description below. On here, we have something called the data portal. If we head on over into the data portal, we have Chainlink on-chain metrics. There's a whole host of different things on here that you can take a look at. I'm just going to focus in on the wallet analysis with native link. Now, here you can see units of or wallets that have more than 100,000 units of Chainlink. You can see that they've aggressively been selling off into this move to the upside. Okay, this tells you that large investors are taking their profits. Okay, and as we kind of think about where we sit within our data here, we're kind of peaking out on the wave 3 and we're looking at coming down into the wave 4, right? So this is very typical of what I was just explaining. Wave 3 is driven from institutional level investors. They're taking their profits that will bring down in the wave 4. Retail will jump in because it's a dip that they should buy. They'll drive this wave 5 and then get wrecked onto that next move to the downside, right? And so we can see that quite clearly within our data here with these 100,000 link wallets basically decreasing. You can see that they've been decreasing over the last 90 days, so the last 3 months, 3.65%. Most of the selling pressure, though, really has occurred over the last 30 days, and it's 6.58%. In the last 7 days, it's 2.46% down. Okay, now when we take a look at smaller wallets, you can see they're stagnant at 10,000. 1,000 Chainlink or more, though, is buying up. So basically, retail investors are FOMOing in, buying up more Link at those particular levels. It's a really interesting psychological game that is being played here. If you're following the data, it's quite a thing to kind of keep an eye on. Now, from a weekly standpoint, if the bottom is in, we no longer have the ability to look at this as a Z-wave movement. Okay, and I think we are potentially in that territory. We're going to be keeping a close eye on this as to whether or not the bottom is in. If the bottom is in already, which it looks like is a strong chance it is, right down here at the $4.76.1, that would actually put us into a much stronger bull market here for Chainlink, right? So previously, I had selected here the kind of $300 C-wave high point. If, however, the bottom is already in, our technical high points change quite a bit, and we actually can have the ability to push Chainlink even higher than we saw previously. We'll be talking about potentially pushing this up more towards that $700 to $2,000 Chainlink, which will be very, very phenomenal if that does come on in. So as you can kind of see, we have now some really interesting kind of points for Chainlink here. If the bottom is in, we're going to have one hell of a bullish market for Link. It's got some pretty decent progression there, and what some decent gains would be there, to kind of see $700 to $2,000 range on the Chainlink side of things. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of this down in the comments below, but I'm going to leave it there. We'll see how things kind of play out over the next few days for Chainlink. But if you found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is in the description down below. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.